Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by Bell Tire. Well, the trading deadline just one day away. The Tigers have added another arm to the back end of their bullpen. Jose Veras comes over from the Houston Astros, 9 of 19 of 22 in save opportunities. And today, Veras takes the field at Comerica Park wearing Tigers colors for the first time in his career. Welcome to Comerica Game 1 tonight, featuring the Nationals and your Detroit Tigers. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Rod Allen, glad to have you with us. It is Game 1 in this interleague series between these two teams, and the Tigers, who knows, may show Jose Veras tonight in the ballgame, Rod, but he is a quality pickup for this team.
No doubt about that. He was closing games for the Houston Astros, 19 saves for them. He will not be closing here for the Tigers. Benoit is a closer, but Jim can use him in the 7th inning. He can use him in the 8th inning. Leadership, veteran leadership, that's what they got in Veras.
All right, now clearly the story here tonight is the starting pitching matchup. Steven Strasburg will go for the Washington Nationals. Meanwhile, for the Tigers, Anibal Sanchez. And while Strasburg gets all of the headlines, and deservedly so, Sanchez is having a pretty good year in his own right, 8-7 with a 2.68 ERA. But make no mistake, Ross, Strasburg, this kid's the real deal.
He's got a big arm. This guy's got a huge fastball. He was throwing 97 miles an hour in his last couple of starts in the 1st inning, and he was throwing 97 miles an hour in his last start in the 8th inning. Not only does he have the overpowering fastball, but he has a knee-buckling breaking ball. He buckles the knees of right-handers, and he throws it at a couple different speeds. He also has a plus changeup. Guys very young like Strasburg, when they come to the big leagues, they usually don't come with 3 above-average pitches, but he does have 3 above-average pitches, and it's going to be a real good game here tonight.
All right, after a short break, we'll send you back to the Call Sam Studios and Trevor Thompson. The Tigers' offense, meanwhile, has been carrying a big stick. 22 runs in their last 2 games against the Phillies. Tigers Nationals, Game 1, coming up tonight. Baseball tonight, Tigers and the Washington Nationals in the first of a two-game interleague series. The Tigers, after a very successful series against the Phillies, back to work here today after a day off. And the Nationals will lead it off with Bryce Harper. He stands in to start things off in the ball game here this evening. Anibal Sanchez on the hill for the Tigers, and here's the first pitch of tonight's ball game. It is a strike called on Bryce Harper. Harper batting .273. He's hit 15 home runs this year. In the series earlier against the Tigers, 1 for 7. He homered. That was back in Washington. The 0-1 pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike. Sanchez presented tonight by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
One game over 500 is Anibal Sanchez, 8-7, but an outstanding earned run average. 119 strikeouts, just 33 walks. Commands 4 different pitches. He can throw all of them for strikes at any point in time.
Sanchez coming off a really good outing against the White Sox in Chicago. No runs in 6 innings of work. The Tigers won that ball game 6-2, and he got his 8th win of the season. Harper waiting on a 2-1 pitch. Here it is. And he drives one down the right field line. That ball is hit deep. It is off the wall. Extra bases for Harper. It rolls away from Torrey Hunter. Harper is all the way to third base. They're going to stop him there with a leadoff triple.
Bryce Harper has mad skills, and one thing you have to do against him, you have to get yourself in some better counts. You can't let him do his damage in 2-1 counts. He gets an off-speed pitch and whistles it down off the gate. And before Torrey Hunter could get there, the ball shot past him and allowed Harper with that real good speed to get to third. That was a rocket.
It looked like it might have enough to clear the fence, but Harper instead streaks all the way to third base.
He's not your typical leadoff hitter. Denard Span, their leadoff hitter the majority of the year. But Span has been struggling lately.
Here's Anthony Rendon, and he looks at a ball inside. Rendon in the 2 spot, batting .260 this year. He recently, in fact on Sunday, snapped an 0 for 18 slump. And Sanchez again missing inside. 2 balls and no strikes.
Don't know for sure, but Sanchez may want to change his game plan here early against this Washington Nationals team. It's not often you see a 2-1 breaking ball hit as hard as that one was hit off the bat of Harper. They may be looking for some off-speed pitches in fastball counts tonight against Sanchez.
There's the strike call. 2-1 the count. Larry Vanover is our home plate umpire tonight. Sanchez trying to pitch around a leadoff triple here in the first inning by Bryce Harper. The 2-1. Rendon takes ball low, 3-1.
Sanchez's last start against the White Sox, he was pitching in a little stress early in the game. They had a runner on third, less than 2 outs. But Sanchez was able to strand that runner at third.
Last 2 starts were rocky early, but he settled in nicely. There's a ground ball to third. Cabrera down to a knee on the backhand. Nicely done. 1 gone. And Harper holds at third base.
And that ground ball hit anywhere else in the infield, and Harper more than likely comes home to score.
Well, that's a start for Sanchez. 1 out, and here is Ryan Zimmerman. Nationals third baseman Zimmerman batting .281. He's hit 12 home runs this year. Infield coming in now a few steps for the Tigers. And a wave and a miss, 0-1. .53 driven in this year for Zimmerman, the number 3 hitter for the Nats. There's that defense coming in a couple of steps all the way around. Sanchez trying to strand a leadoff triple. Here's the 0-1. Right back up the middle and into center field, a base hit. Zimmerman gets it done with an RBI hit. And the Nationals out to an early lead tonight. 54th RBI for Zimmerman as we check out the rest of the lineup for the Nationals tonight, presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. You saw the top three: Harper, Rendon, and Zimmerman. LaRoche, Worth, and Desmond, your next three, and the bottom three tonight is Span, Ramos, and Chad Tracy. And the Nationals already have put up a run here. Here's Adam LaRoche. He looks at ball one high. LaRoche at 235. 4 for 7 in that series earlier in Washington this season. And 14 home runs this year. He can go deep. In fact, his 47 homers the last 2 years ties him with Prince Fielder for the most among Major League first basemen. 1-1. Nationals come to town, having won 3 out of 4 from the Mets over the weekend. Yet they find themselves 9 games back in the National League East, and a wave and a miss. 1-2. Atlanta right now leading the way in the East. We just saw the Phillies. We sent them out of town quickly with a sweep, and they're 11.5 back. So the Braves definitely in command in that division. Chop foul. 1-2 on Adam LaRoche. It has not been a good stretch for LaRoche. In fact, he is 0 for his last 15. Jason Worth waiting on deck.
And LaRoche has also grounded into quite a few double plays this year. 11 as we speak.
Runner goes, and a bouncing ball to second. He'll stay out of the double play here as Santiago throws him out.
And a wise decision there by Davey Johnson, the manager of the Washington Nationals, allowing Zimmerman to vacate first base. Take a look at the Tigers' starting defensive alignment this evening. You got Dirks in left, Jackson is in center. The All-Star, Torrey Hunter's in right field. Miguel Cabrera, Peralta, Santiago, and the Prince round out the infield, and Alex Avila getting the first start behind the plate of this 2-game series.
Jason Worth is batting .305. Long ball potential, 15 home runs this year. Trying to drive in a run from second base with 2 outs.
Last time we saw the Nationals, when the Tigers were in D.C., Worth was on the disabled list. And he's been sizzling hot since coming off the DL.
Fouled it straight back.
As a matter of fact, he has been the hottest hitter in the National League in the month of July.
Well, he's knocked in 21 this month, and since coming off the disabled list, a .331 average. .376 this month. And Sanchez just missed with that one. 1 ball, 1 strike. Zimmerman down at second. He has knocked in a run. Nationals with an early 1-0 lead in this game. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
Anibal Sanchez has great career numbers against the Washington Nationals. They've only beaten him 1 time, and that was earlier this year. He has 8 wins against them. Most of that, of course, was when he was wearing a Marlins uniform.
He gave up 2 earned runs in that start against the Nationals in Washington in 6 innings of work back in May. And he just missed the outside corner. 2-2 to count. Clearly outside. Ball high. Now the count fills at 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Here's those career numbers against the Nationals I was speaking of regarding Sanchez. A 2.02 ERA.
.3-2 is off the end of the bat. Sanchez will run it down. It gets by him. Prince backs him up, and he's safe at first base. That'll leave runners at first and third. It got by Anibal, and the inning is still alive for Washington.
Nice job by Sanchez here. He did it just the way that you're taught to do it. If you go over for the ball and if you do not catch it, you bend over for it, you just simply go to the bag, which he did. And I don't know if his foot was off the bag or if Worth's right foot got on the bag before the ball got in the glove of Sanchez.
This ought to be a better look right here. Pretty close. Infield hit. Jason Worth pleading for that hit, and he gets it. Third hit in the inning now for the Nats, and that'll bring up Ian Desmond. A choppy start here for Sanchez in this one. Leadoff triple has come around to score. Desmond hits a ground ball short. Should get him out of the inning, and it does. So the Nationals 7 for 1. They strand a pair. Leland has turned in his lineup card here this evening, and it looks like this. Presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. It is Jackson, Hunter, and Cabrera at the top. We got Prince Fielder playing first base in the middle, along with Victor Martinez and Johnny Peralta. Your bottom three tonight features Dirks Avila and then Ramon Santiago batting ninth, playing second base, and they will face the right-handed offerings of Steven Strasburg.
First time ever that Strasburg will go up against the Tigers during the regular season. However, he's seen them a few times down in the Grapefruit League. He has 5 wins, 8 losses, no run support for Strasburg. Big fastball will get to 97, 98. Outstanding curveball and a legitimate swing and miss changeup in his 3-pitch mix.
So the right-hander out of San Diego, California, ready to go to work. And here is Austin Jackson. First pitch to Jackson is a strike called at 94 from Strasburg.
Strasburg in his last start, he was throwing 97 in the very first inning, and he was throwing 97 in the 8th inning as well.
There's a bouncing ball left side, deep in the hole. Desmond, tough play, and picked it first for the out.
Desmond's got some arm strength, and he bounced that ball over to first base by design. There are some shortstops that would have tried to reach the first baseman LaRoche here on the air. But with Jackson running, he felt like, I'll get it over there as quickly as possible on one bounce, and he did so, and he got the out.
It's going to bring up Torrey Hunter. Torrey sporting a 5-game hitting streak right now. And he takes one down the middle, strike one.
I was talking to Torrey about that left Achilles injury that he sustained a couple of days ago. Hadn't missed one game. He did come back and play a couple of days ago. He said it's not 100%, but he says after the first week of spring training, my body's not 100% anyway.
That's a good point. Good breaking ball on that last pitch by Strasburg. 0-2.
He's got plus stuff. It's going to be a battle today for the Tigers to beat young Steven Strasburg.
First overall selection in 2009 for the Nationals. Now the 0-2. Ooh, look at that, and it just missed.
That's that knee buckling breaking ball. Check out Hunter's knees here. Buckled twice.
Now the 1-2. Fastball to 97, missing away.
He's not holding anything back.
Waiting on deck, Miguel Cabrera. We're in the first. It's 1-0 Nationals. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. First strikeout of the ball game for Strasburg. 2 gone.
Let's take a look at the starting defense for the Washington Nationals this evening. It's presented always by Tim Hortons. Harper, Span, and Worth in the outfield. LaRoche, Rendon, Desmond, and Zimmerman in the infield. And Wilson Ramos, who had a huge day yesterday. First career grand slam, is the catcher tonight.
So here is Cabrera batting .360, 2 out of 4 against the Phillies, and he looks at a ball inside.
And Miggy stands there in the batter's box with a .361 career batting average against the Nationals. And most of that time when he was wearing a Florida Marlins uniform.
Now the 1-0. That bends inside. Bryce Harper, the left fielder, is nearly playing on the warning track. They are playing extremely deeply on Miguel Cabrera. Look at Harper out there in left. You can barely see him. 2-0 the count. There are those career numbers. 21 home runs against the Washington Nationals.
79 RBIs in just 87 games.
Right back up the middle into center. So Cabrera singles with 2 outs. Tigers have their first hit of the evening. And now Prince Fielder.
Pretty swing by Miguel Cabrera.
Here is Fielder. 75 RBIs this year for Prince, and that's good for 4th in the American League. 1 ball, no strikes. Two and 0. Strasburg last year won 15 ball games. He was 15-6 before they shut him down on September the 7th. Very controversial along baseball. The Washington Nationals wanted to limit his innings, so they shut him down in a pennant race and for the playoffs. There's a strike call.
It's not uncommon for management to shut down a very young pitcher. One that's like Strasburg, one coming off Tommy John surgery, but the other general managers, they just don't talk about it all year long.
Right? That's a good point. There was a lot of chatter all season long, and many wondered why they would do that. Of course, the Nationals thinking long term. He ended up throwing 159 innings last year, but certainly their team making the postseason could have used his arm. Here's the 3-1. Swing and a miss.
As Shannon Hogan said in the pregame show today, I couldn't say it any better. She said they have taken the training wheels off of Steven Strasburg, and they have allowed him to go at least 8 innings, pitch into the 8th inning 3 times this year. So they're letting him go as long as the opposing hitters don't do much damage against him.
Runner goes on 3-2, and it's ball 4. The Tigers have a 2-out threat going now. Single and a walk.
Well, we told you Jason Worth, their right fielder, the hottest hitter in the senior circuit in the month of July. Victor Martinez has been just that in the junior circuit, which would be the American League.
Victor with 59 RBIs.
Worth has a good arm in right field. Harper has a plus arm in left field. Span doesn't throw well in center field. And the reason why I bring that up is Miggy's not running very well right now. Anything hit hard to either of the 2 on the corners, Tom Brookins is going to have to make a really quick decision as to whether to send Miggy or not.
Drilled to center field. Span is going back, and it's going to be swallowed up by that center field here in Detroit. Tigers strand a pair. Is brought to you by Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. Chrysler, take advantage of great summertime deals now at the Chrysler Summer Clearance Event. And by Imes Dog Food, the delicious taste he loves without the additives he doesn't. Back here at the ballpark, we go to the second inning. It is 1-0. Nationals have the lead. And Denard Span, the former Minnesota Twin, stands in for the Nats. It'll be Span, Ramos, and Tracy, the bottom three for Washington. They got a run in the first on the RBI hit by Ryan Zimmerman.
Looks strange to see Denard Span batting seventh. For any club that comes in to play the Tigers, he was usually a real good leadoff man.
Flare that one to left field, and Dirks runs it down. One gone. We'll bring up Wilson Ramos. Weird to see him bat seventh, and weird to see him not in a Minnesota uniform. Ramos, the number 8 hitter, hit a grand slam on Sunday. Batting .290. He's knocked in 23.
Ramos is doing something that a lot of number 8 hitters find very difficult to do in the National League, and that's really get themselves good pitches to hit. And when you get those good pitches to hit, you don't miss it. And since he's come off the disabled list last 17 games, he's at about 320 clip. And I can't think of a more difficult spot to hit in the National League than batting 8th ahead of the pitcher.
Typically, you're not going to see a whole lot. And missed outside. 2 balls, no strikes. So what does that do to you in terms of your attack as a hitter?
Well, you have to be smart. You have to really figure out when they are pitching to you, when they're pitching around you, when there's runners in scoring position, how far you can stretch the strike zone to try to drive in that run, knowing that that pitcher's in the on-deck circle.
Santiago handles this one, 2 gone.
Not an easy spot to hit in.
Much better start to this inning for Sanchez. 2 up, 2 away.
Looks like he's using a few more fastballs than the first couple of hitters in this inning. He was very heavy on the off-speed pitches in that very first inning.
Here's the designated hitter, Tracy, batting .177. 3 homers this year. Has been a pretty good pinch hitter for them over in the National League. That's typically his role. And obviously, when National League ball clubs come to American League ballparks, they use the DH. But DHs this year have combined to bat .158 for the Nationals in AL parks. A 1-0 from Sanchez. This tie, 2 balls, no strikes.
That's why there's still a lot of people out there that are lobbying for one rule. and whether they be the DH or no DH for both leagues.
Here's the 2-0. What do you got on that? I mean, I think obviously if anything's going to happen, it's going to be the DH in both leagues. I just don't see it going the other way, but it's got to be uniform, doesn't it?
I think so, because pitchers, when they go to National League parks, they feel like they're at a disadvantage because they don't ever really bunt, they don't hit, and lots of guys get hurt running the bases because they don't ever run the bases.
Popped up. Sanchez being called off by Prince. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Anibal. We'll go to the bottom of the second, 1-0 Nats.
A boatload of hits against the Philadelphia Phillies, but none bigger than the fourth career grand slam to left field off the bat of Johnny Peralta, who just continues to get it done on both sides of the ball, having a great 2013 campaign.
And it'll be Johnny to start things off here in the second. Peralta, Dirks, and then Avila facing Steven Strasburg. Tigers put up a little bit of a threat against him with 2 outs in the first, single walk, but he got the fly ball from Martinez. Johnny swinging on the first pitch, rolls it foul. 0-1 on Peralta. He sits safely in 6 consecutive games now for Detroit. Pretty good numbers as well in the first meeting against the Nationals. 4 for 6 in that 2-game series. Strasburg's 0-1. 0-2. This is what we've been talking about most of the year, where Johnny ranks among American League shortstops. First in average and on base percentage. They want the appeal, but he did not go. Second in hits, runs, and runs driven in. Awfully good. It's been a great year and another all-star year for Johnny Peralta. Strasburg's 1-2. Breaking ball tipped into the glove for strike 3. Second strikeout of the game for Strasburg.
As good as Strasburg is, and the stuff that he features, the overpowering fastball, good curveball, good changeup, he hasn't been very good on the road this year. And he has made 9 prior starts. He's 1-4 with a 4.66 ERA. So he struggles away from Nationals Park, I should say, in Washington, D.C.
Andy Dirks showing bunt. His home ERA, on the other hand, much different, 1.68.
And that's a pitcher's part. I mean, that's a hitter's part.
Yeah, so look at these numbers. That's how they break down. Pulled on the ground to second base, gobbled up there by Rendon. 2 up, 2 down. bring up Alex Avila. Strasburg, to be fair, has not gotten a whole lot of run support on the road. In fact, 6 of his 9 starts, he's gotten 2 or less. Here is Avila now batting 193. Alex starting to heat up a little bit, and that's good news. He's hit safely in his last 4. Trying to get something started here with 2 outs in the second. Fly ball, center field. Denard Span coming in. That's going to be an easy 1-2-3 inning for Strasburg. And you're watching Tigers baseball tonight, presented by Bell Tire.
Years you've been introduced to Manny Machado this year, so we're going to show you a little bit of what Bryce Harper does in a Nationals uniform. Great defensive skills. He can steal a base, but he makes his money with that bat. And he's got some mad skills with the bat. He's got range. He's got a lot of pop as well. And when he swings, he has so much force. His back foot literally comes off the ground when he's making contact.
And he's 20 years old. As you look at his numbers since the All-Star break, 342. A couple of home runs. 15 on the season for Harper, who tripled to start the ball game off the right field wall that eventually scored on the Zimmerman base hit.
You cannot pitch him any one way. You have to change every single time he steps in that batter's box, and you really can't throw him the same pitch on back-to-back pitches.
Strike called, 1-1. Harper, a much celebrated prospect. In fact, the Nationals have a pair of #1 overall selections in this game, Strasburg and Harper. 2 balls and 1 strike. He's got that type of swing, Rod, that seems to be conducive to hitting home runs. I mean, he finished second in the home run derby this year.
He's really strong, and he loves the ball down, but he also has the ability to climb the ladder and hit the ball into the seats as well.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Harper.
The only thing they need to be concerned with, really, with Harper is keeping him healthy. He plays the game at 200 miles an hour, and because of that, he runs into walls. He's always diving all over the place, and he's landed on the disabled list a couple times.
Now the 2-2. High fly ball, center field. Jackson cruising over. Harper is out, 1 away. So Sanchez, since that bumpy first inning, has now retired 5 straight. They'll bring up Anthony Rendon. Rendon is 0 for 1 with a ground out. Batting .259. Ball one outside. Rendon, like Harper, didn't spend much time in the minor leagues. He was 6th overall in the 2011 draft. So they've got a lot of youth on this team, a lot of high draft picks. But in the minor leagues, Rendon played just 79 games. Played third base when Zimmerman was hurt. And with Zimmerman back in the lineup now, he's been shifted back to second. Here's the 1-1. 2 balls, 1 strike on Anthony Rendon. Here's the 2-1. Inside, 3 balls, 1 strike. Sanchez allowed a triple, an RBI single, and an infield hit in the first. And nothing since. Tipped into the glove for strike 2. Full count now on Rendon. And he missed high, ball 4. 1 out walk. That'll be the first of the game for Sanchez. We're talking about Bryce Harper, and you were mentioning trying to keep him healthy.
Take a look at him running this wall in Los Angeles. I mean, really.
Well, it appeared, and obviously the wall won that battle.
I mean, it's just like he was running full speed.
And it looked like he just didn't know where the wall was. Well, you talk about scary. Typically a wall, regardless of what ballpark, is going to win any type of battle. 1 on 1 out. Here's Zimmerman, who singled in a run back up the middle in the first inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. Do you have any battles with any walls in your career?
I've run into a few. There's no doubt about that. And it's not fun.
Here's the 1-1. Ball high, 2 balls, 1 strike. Every time I see a guy run into a wall, I think of that minor league highlight, and I can't remember who it was. I think it was in Portland in the minor leagues.
Rodney McRae.
It was Rodney McRae. Yeah, ran through the wall.
Through the wall.
Two balls, 1 strike. Now Ryan Zimmerman. Short 2-game series here between these two teams. Then the Tigers have another off day. You don't normally see them have 2 off days in 1 week. And in the span of just a couple of days.
It's a nice job there by Sanchez, making sure that Rendon stays right at first base. As Zimmerman has grounded into 12 double plays this year. And Sanchez looking for number 13.
The 2-1. 2-2.
Mark Trumbo reminds me a lot of Zimmerman. Both guys stand upright. Both guys are tall. Both guys come down through the baseball. And because of that, when they do hit home runs, boy, there are some majestic fly balls that carry out of the ballpark. This guy's got some serious wrist.
Runner goes. Bouncing ball foul.
Davey Johnson not going to sit around here today and allow Sanchez to get any ground outs, to get double plays. He's putting guys in motion today.
Stayed out at 1 back in the first inning. And he had Rendon on the move there on a 2-2 pitch. Runner goes again. Bouncing ball to short. Peralta has only 1 play, so again they stay out of the double play. 2 gone. Time for game break now. We check in with Mickey York. All right, Mick, we will certainly keep our eyes on that ball game. Here, the Nationals got a run in the first inning. They still lead 1-0.
And somebody has to slow down that Tribe squad. They've won 5 games in a row.
It's chopped foul first base side.
But they really haven't been able to make up a whole lot of ground because the Tigers, they keep winning too.
I think the fans in Cleveland are starting to believe.
I think they're starting to show up to the ballpark, so that means they're starting to believe a little bit in Terry Francona's group.
Here's the breakdown on Sanchez. Not all that crisp early on here. That one just missed. There's been a lot of talk that Alex Rios might be on his way to the Pittsburgh Pirates. That is the hot rumor, but nothing has surfaced yet. Jake Peavy scratched from his start. In the air, shallow left field. Dirks is under it, and that'll take care of the Nationals. No runs, a walk, and 1 man left. The new Detroit Tigers M&M McFlurry only at McDonald's. Using your cell phone, text Tigers, then a space, and then the player's uniform number to 37338. Or if you prefer, you can vote online at foxsportsdetroit.com. Steven Strasburg back to the hill. And Santiago leads it off for the Tigers. Looks at a strike. It'll be Ramon, then Jackson, then Hunter. Strasburg needed just 7 pitches to get through the second. Santiago 4 for his last 8. 333 career against Nationals pitching. Here's the 0-1. A strike called on the outer edge. 0-2 on Ramon.
88 miles an hour with the changeup. That is a hard changeup.
Here's the 0-2.
Here's our charter high-speed stat, and it's regarding the fastball, which is almost 96 miles an hour average for Strasburg, which is the second fastest in the major leagues, and also that changeup at 88. Also the second fastest changeup in the majors. So he has that distinct honor of throwing 2 pitches very, very hard.
Well, I guess a guy that can throw 97, 98, when you have an 88 mile an hour changeup, it's not that big a deal, but typically you don't like it that hard, do you?
Oh, no, you need about 10 miles differential if you're going to get the swings and misses that you really desire.
Bounce to the right side, fielded by LaRoche, and Strasburg covers for the out.
LaRoche is sweet with that glove over at first base. He can play some defense.
5 in a row retired by Strasburg. Bring up the top of the lineup, Austin Jackson. Tigers so far have managed only 1 hit, and to no one's surprise, it's by Miguel Cabrera.
I think Austin may have figured out something in his approach that hasn't allowed him to swing the bat all that effectively in the month of July. He's been swinging at a lot of fastballs that have been up in the zone. And I believe his front foot just staying up in the air a little bit too long. And so today during batting practice, he was really concentrating on getting that base stable by getting that left foot up, getting it back down as quickly as possible.
Just again, 2 balls, no strikes.
And if you're able to do that, then you're less prone to swing at those fastballs that are up around the letters because you've got a good strong base and your head's not moving.
That's in there, 2-1.
It's all about that foot. I mean, they took that leg kick away from Austin a couple of years ago and he went on to hit 300.
Good pitch at 96 on the outer edge. 2-2.
Those last 2 pitches by Strasburg, one at 95, one at 96, painted on the black.
Got him, strike 3 on the outside corner at 97.
That was generous. I mean, if they're going to give him that pitch all night long, it's going to be a long night for some of these right-handed batters.
Oh boy, was it generous.
That's terrible. This kid don't need no help now.
No, he really doesn't. He got some help there. That's his 3rd strikeout. Here's Torrey offering a bunt. Did he go? Yep. 0-1. 3-12 for Torrey. Struck out back in the 1st on a breaking ball. 10 home runs this year for Hunter. He'll shoot that one foul. 0-2. Strasburg played for Tony Gwynn at San Diego State. He was a closer. In fact, he was San Diego State's closer his freshman year, and then as a sophomore they moved him to the rotation, which obviously was a very good move. Was the #1 guy his sophomore and junior years. Breaking ball on the inside corner, strike 3. Hunter didn't like the call. Strasburg has a 1-2-3 inning. Meyer, text Meyer to 37338 to be eligible to win a fantastic prize pack that any baseball fan would love. Meyer math means savings that really add up. At Meyer, the math always works in your favor. Right now, the numbers are in the Nationals' favor. 1-0 is our score. Steven Strasburg had a 1-2-3 inning. He's had back-to-back 1-2-3 innings. 4 strikeouts for the talented right-hander. And to the fourth inning we go. Sanchez down by a run, faces Jason Worth. First pitch is hammered down the right field line. That ball is slicing, and it's going to go foul. Not by a whole lot either. 0-1. 6 ground ball outs already for Sanchez, and had the Nationals not started a couple of runners, they would have bounced into a couple of double plays. Worth had an infield single back in the first inning. Here's the 0-1. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Worth had 5 years in Philadelphia, and it was his last 2 years that he really put up some pretty good numbers and earned a big deal with the Nationals. 1-1 is hammered foul.
There are, and there was a lot of people that felt like the Washington Nationals overpaid Jason Worth. What did they give him, $126 million?
Yeah, they gave him a lot. And you're right. I mean, there were a lot of folks that wondered, well, not so sure about that. He had solid numbers. They were not spectacular offensive numbers, but still very good.
But he was surrounded by Rollins when Rollins was playing really well. Chase Utley was performing very well. Ryan Howard also protected Worth in that very good Philadelphia Phillies lineup. But when he came to the Nationals, he was by himself. He had no protection other than Zimmerman.
This year, Worth has 42 RBIs, 15 home runs. Sends a ground ball foul. Played in just 81 games last year because of an injury. Perfect.
Don't throw it.
No, hold on to that, young lady. 3-2. Jason Worth. He fought that one off. That came in on his hands. Sanchez had a 1-2-3 second. Gave up a walk, but no damage in the third. And the Nationals got their only run in the first inning on a triple by Harper and a single by Zimmerman. And again, the 3-2. Another foul back out of play. Here's some of the better Julys in the National League. Worth at 376. Jason about to see his 9th pitch in this at bat. And he got him, strike 3. Worth was on his way to first. He'll take a right turn, go back to the bench.
Worth was on his way to first base, but he also was thinking about Larry Vanover calling this a strike. We just watched Steven Strasburg get that same pitch called for strike 3 against Austin Jackson.
1 out here in the 4th inning. Worth becomes the first strikeout victim that Anibal has had. High pop-up, shallow right field. Santiago going back and making the play. Desmond is out, 2 gone.
First 2 plate appearances for their talented shortstop, Ian Desmond. He has swung at the first pitch on both at-bats and grounded out to the shortstop his last time up. Well, we've well documented the fact that Denard Span, whether wearing a Minnesota Twins uniform or wearing a Washington Nationals uniform, he is worn out Tigers pitching. He's a great fastball hitter, and he has done major damage against Detroit in his career.
Strike called on Span. Time now for the Bernstein advantage. Scouting report on Denard. Get the Bernstein advantage. We go to bat for you. Highest among active players at 342 average. 69 games against Detroit. He'll shoot a little pop-up back short, but Johnny runs it down. And a 1-2-3 inning for Sanchez. Let's go to the bottom of the 4th.
evening. We told you Strasburg throws a very hard changeup. Look at it come out of his hand. It's a circle change. He throws it at about 88 miles an hour. He's got a plus breaking ball already. A couple of strikeouts with that knee buckling breaking ball, and then he's always got that heater in his back pocket. And he can get up to 98 miles an hour with his four-seam fastball. A lot of the Tigers hitters were asked today, how would you approach Strasburg? You simply have to get a really good pitch and put it in play when you get that good pitch, because he's not going to give you very many of those, is what a lot of guys were saying.
Well, the Nationals have given him a 1-0 lead, and so far that is it. Tigers had picked up in this game just one hit, and that was a Cabrera single. It was back in the first inning. Miguel leads it off and bends away from a bender.
It's been a while since I've seen a right-hander have this type of tilt and break on his curveball.
We have seen quite a few of the Tigers hitters either backing out or had the knees buckled. Here's Strasburg's 0-1. That one's off the end of the bat, another breaking ball, and Miggy is going to be an easy out. So he is 1 for 2. One gone. Bring up fielder. I guess we're seeing why, Rod, this guy is so highly touted and so special. When you throw as hard as he does with the secondary pitches he has.
That's what separates him. There's a lot of guys that throw hard in the big leagues, but very few can really command their curveball and command the changeup. Strasburg commands both of those.
Fielder walked in the first inning. The fastball to 96 in there, 0-1.
He's got huge calves too. I was walking next to him in Washington D.C. when we were there, and I just noticed, man, his calves are like tree trunks.
Now the 0-1. Breaking ball, 0-2.
No doubt where he gets some of that power from his legs. Look at those things.
6'4", 200-pounder out of San Diego. And the 0-2. Fastball got away from him. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I like the way he wears his uniform. The high legs, high knees.
Fielder waiting on a 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Ian Desmond, their shortstop, also wears the pants up around the knees, but he's got the old-fashioned stirrups on. Look at him.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the old-fashioned stirrups.
Harper is well out there in left field with that look. Here's the 2-2. Something old school about that look. 3 balls, 2 strikes. There is Harper out and left. Old Tyrus Raymond. And he walked him.
Second time today he's walked Prince. Apparently, Strasburg is going to pick his outs in this game and who he'd like to go after. He thought he might have had strike 3 with this breaking ball.
Ooh, just a touch outside.
Nice frame job there by the catcher Ramos. He held it there for a long time to give Larry Van Over, the home plate umpire, a long look at it.
So here is Martinez. Strasburg quickly got ahead of fielder 0-2, ends up walking him for the second time. Victor in his first at bat swung at the first pitch and drilled it to center field for an out. He is 0 for 1.
Just about anything that goes to center field is going to be an out. Denard Span has not committed an error this year, and it's a really good center fielder. Really good center fielder.
Here's the 1-0. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, you can see the Tigers tangle with the Royals Thursday, August 15th through Sunday, August 18th. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. Those Royals, we talk about the Indians, but those Royals have thoughts of their own. They are 7 back entering play tonight. They feel they can make a run. Victor waiting on a 1-1. Pulled in the air to right field, straight at Jason Worth. 2 gone. Bring up Peralta.
You mentioned that Jake Peavy was scratched from his start tonight in Cleveland against the Indians, and that's too bad because he's 6-1 in his last 9 starts against the American League Central. And the Tigers could have used him tonight going up against the Tribe.
Yeah, that's always something that you have to deal with either late in the season when teams are out of it. They want to look at their young players, or before the deadline when guys get pulled. It certainly can have an effect on pennant races. Drop in for a base hit. Fielder on his way to second, stops there. And it's a single for Johnny Peralta.
Prince actually could have gotten to third base if he wanted to there. We told you that Span is a really good center fielder, but the one thing that he does not do well out there is throw. And with his momentum carrying him in the direction that it was carrying him, he wasn't going to throw Prince out at third base.
So the Tigers push the tying run to second now. 2 on with 2 outs. Andy Dirks will step in. This has been a 1-0 game since the first inning tonight. Andy grounded out 4-3 back in the second. And he shoots that one fair down the left field line. Fielder coming around to score. It's a ground rule double. Peralta will go to third base, and the Tigers have tied it. Dirks tardy on a fastball, and he cued it just inside the line. Davey Johnson coming on now.
Larry Vanover must have seen something differently there.
Peralta was awarded home plate. Now they're going to send him back now.
Yeah, that's the right call.
Yeah, I agree. Now Jim Leland's going to come out. Johnny said, well, it was worth a shot. So they'll send him back. And now Leland wants the entire crew to come out and talk about it. Clearly a fair ball now. When is the ball touched? In relation to where Peralta was. I mean, he was at first base, so I think clearly this is the correct call here, sending Johnny back to third. So it's a 1-1 ball game. Dirks gets the RBI, his 25th of the year. That's Fielder. He scores.
Yeah, Harper was right there. And there's no way Peralta scores there.
Strike 1 on Avila. Two out, 2-base hit by Andy Dirks. Tigers now have 3 hits. Here's the 0-1. Fouled back out of play. No balls, 2 strikes. So Strasburg now has Avila on the ropes. Alex fly to center field back in the second. 1-out walk, 2-out single, 2-out double, and the Tigers have tied this one. One and 2. Alex now trying to give the Tigers their first lead of this ball game. Strasburg now with the 1-2. High fly ball, right center field. Span going over, has a ton of room out there to end the inning. However, the Tigers tie it up on the Dirks hit. It's a 1-1 game. taste of Arby's Mighty Minis today. Arby's, slicing up freshness. And by Bell Tire. Get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. Back here at the ballpark, we are all tied up now. 1-1 is our score. Strasburg allows the 2-out double by Andy Dirks. And he kept the damage to a minimum, though. The Tigers have run on 3 hits. Likewise, the Nationals. And for Washington, it'll be Wilson Ramos, Chad Tracy, Bryce Harper facing Anibal Sanchez as we go to the 5th inning. Sanchez now has retired 10 of the last 11 Nationals he has faced. Expected this would be a good pitching matchup, and so far it has lived up to its billing. Ball 1 missing outside to Ramos. Since his return from the disabled list, he had a hamstring problem earlier this year. He's batting at a .322 clip. Pulls this one on the ground deep behind the back. Great play, Miggy. His throw is in time.
His arm strength is incredible.
Wow. You're not kidding.
And look how quickly he bounces to his feet after he leaves to go on that right knee to take a double away from Ramos down the line. He gets over, goes down on the right knee, takes very little time getting up, and the arm strength is outstanding. What hip flexor?
Probably the only way you make that play with that arm strength, I think. Because he had gone down to his knees, and he just fired a bullet chest high to fielder. Here's Chad Tracy. Popped up his first time up right to fielder. This time he'll pull it on the ground, foul. Right by Prince.
And Chad Tracy's career began with the Arizona Diamondbacks, and at that time Mike Rizzo, who is the current president and GM of the Washington Nationals, drafted Tracy, so he's very fond of him.
It's not the first time an executive has switched teams and has brought a player over.
No doubt.
Especially one that he has drafted in the past. 9th season, Tracy has been a really good pinch hitter this year for the Nationals. In fact, he leads the team with 8 of them, along with Lombardosi. Here's the 1-1. Excuse me, roller toward third base. Miguel got to try and barehand this play. Safe. Not a whole lot more Cabrera could have done there.
This looks like it's a very difficult play for Miggy, coming in and barehanding this ball and then throwing off that right foot. Although he did get something on the throw. You could tell afterwards, a little irritated.
All eyes on Cabrera right now. He is clearly trying to regroup.
And Jim felt like a couple of days ago when Miggy was ejected from the game very early, the blessing in disguise, because he had Sunday off, Monday off, and a night game here tonight on Tuesday. So he basically had 48 hours off his feet.
Although it takes us a play like that to tweak it a little bit. Harper the batter, triple and a flyout. Fouled back out of play. So Cabrera making a spectacular play to start the inning. Try to make another one, charging the ground ball. We'll keep our eyes on Cabrera down at third. Here's the 1-1. High fly ball, left field. Dirks is under it. Harper is out. He's 1 for 3 now. That'll bring up Anthony Rendon. Rendon and ground out and a walk. popped up. Back a second to the grass goes Santiago. That'll do it. No runs, an infield hit, and one man left. Miguel Cabrera starting a terrific play to begin this inning. You're watching Tigers baseball tonight. It's presented by Bell Tire. Fifth inning, Miguel Cabrera on his way back to the dugout after making or attempting this play.
And apparently Jim Leland saw what we saw, that there was some discomfort on Miggy's face after he made that play.
Big bunt here. Shovel toss. Got him at first base. Nice play.
Told you LaRoche is a magician with that glove. And after Miggy came off the field after that third out, the skipper asked him, "Are you okay?"
Skipper clearly concerned. I mean, anytime you have your franchise player like that hobbled around, but Cabrera trying to play through it. Here's Austin Jackson. Ground out strikeout. Tigers have managed 3 hits against Strasburg. RBI double by Dirks in the 4th tied this game at 1. Ground ball short. Desmond has it there. 2 outs. Time for a little trivia tonight, courtesy of AT&T. Here's your question this evening. Besides Davey Johnson, who are the other 2 active managers to win a World Series title as a player and a manager? Davey Johnson has done it. There are 2 others as a player and a manager. Think about that for a while. Torrey fouls it off 0-1. Davey Johnson named the Nationals manager in June of 2011.
This will be his last year as a manager in the big leagues.
Drill toward left center field. Span coming on, and he'll get there for the out. It's another 1-2-3 inning for Steven Strasburg. 5 in the books here at the ballpark. Their two-game set with the Nationals. Coverage begins at noon with Tigers Live. The Tigers and Nats tomorrow at noon right here on Fox Sports Detroit. JV towing the slab. And Ryan Zimmerman getting set to lead things off here for the Nationals in the 6th inning. And these are his ranks among the franchise categories: games, hits, homers, RBIs, and runs scored. He's also always at the top of all of those. And he's carved out a nice career with the Nationals. And he will start things off here against Sanchez in the 6th inning. First pitch is a strike called 0-1.
Yeah, Zimmerman has been struggling defensively this year. Committed 16 errors. Been struggling with his throwing this season.
Sanchez ready with the 0-1. First base side, fielder calling for it, foul ground. Zimmerman is out. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game. It is brought to you as always by Miller Lite. How about Sanchez here? He gave up a run in the first, a leadoff triple to start the game, then a single by Zimmerman, but nothing after that.
Nationals really have not been a good matchup for Sanchez in his big league career. He comes in 8-1 with an ERA just a shade over 2 against the Washington Nationals.
And Sanchez came into this game with 10 strikeouts per 9 innings so far this season, but he has only 1 strikeout tonight, and that's Jason Worth back in the 4th. So he's getting it done in different ways. He's retired 13 of the last 15. Here's the 2-0. Drill to center field. Jackson is on the move, still going back, looking up. That ball is over his head. It'll bounce over the wall, and it'll be a double for Adam LaRoche.
13th two-bagger of the season for Adam LaRoche. He got himself a 2-0 fastball. Didn't try to do a whole lot with it and simply ripped it off the warning track in left center field. You can see where Jackson is right now. And he takes a beeline for the ball, but he couldn't run it down.
That is 5 hits now for the Nationals. So they have an opportunity now to regain the lead. Jason Worth, infield single and a punch out. Bouncing ball to short. Peralta 2 steps to his left. And there are 2 gone. Advance the runner to third. Time for a game break now. Here's Mickey York. All right, Mick, thanks. How about the Pirates?
In first place.
Amazing. Here's Ian Desmond. Ball 1 down low. I mean, the Pirates, year after year after year, their goal is to finish over 500. Well, they're well above 500 right now and in first place.
Well, if the season was to end today, they'd have 3 teams going to the postseason out of the NL Central.
Tough division indeed. Here's the 1-0. Ball high. 2 balls, no strikes on Desmond. Trying to drive in the go-ahead run with 2 outs.
It's a dangerous count right here. And 2 balls, no strikes. Desmond has a lightning quick bat. If Sanchez does throw a fastball, he needs to make sure he locates it. Get it inside if you're going in there.
2-1. Desmond this year is hitting over 300 with men on base. 312 to be exact. 0 for 2 in this contest. Ground ball, pop up. Now the 2-1. It floats high. 3 balls, 1 strike. Span waiting on deck. Game 1 of this 2-game series between the Tigers and Nationals, tied at 1. Into the glove for strike 2. 3-2 to count. Desmond came in a hot hitter. In fact, he had a 4-hit game on Sunday, trying to deliver. LaRoche right now standing at third. He doubled with 1 out. Strasburg has limited the Tigers to 3 hits tonight. And he walked him. 2 out, base on balls. Wow, it looked way inside, but Mr. Foxtrack said it was actually a strike.
Well, Avila was set up outside, had to reach back over the heart of the plate, and I think the way that Avila caught it didn't allow Sanchez to get strike 3.
So now here is Span with 2 men on. Breaking ball is high, 1-0.
And Davey Johnson took Span out of that leadoff spot over the weekend, and he homered on Saturday in Washington. And he also homered on Sunday. So last 2 days, those 2 home runs, Denard Span hit against the New York Metropolitans.
There goes the runner from first. Avila will bluff a throw. Strike is the call, 1-1. Stolen base for Ian Desmond. That'll be his 12th. Now a base hit might get him a couple. Broken bat roller towards second. Santiago charging. His throw is in time to end the threat. No runs, double walk. 2 men left. When we get to the bottom of the 6th, Miguel Cabrera leads it off. Some of the numbers all time, players leading the American League in hits and RBIs. Miguel Cabrera is doing it right now through July the 29th of this year. Here's some of the other guys that have done it.
Hall of Famers.
Nap Lajoie back in the early 1900s. Ty Cobb, Lou Gehrig. Big time names, Rice Yastrzemski on that list, and right now Cabrera. He's got his hands full tonight with Steven Strasburg. He's 1 for 2 against Strasburg. singled back in the first and bounced back to the mound. That was in the fourth. First pitch is fouled straight back. No balls, one strike. .361 lifetime against Nationals pitching coming in for Miguel. Strasburg ready with the 0-1. Out in front that time.
Good changeup there at 87 out of the hand of Strasburg.
He's on the disabled list for a spell in June with a sprained muscle in his back. But despite that, he's put up good numbers this year. He flings that one outside at 97. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Had a big career in college. In fact, won the Golden Spikes Award back in 2009. It was the same year that he threw a no-hitter against Air Force with 17 strikeouts in that game. Drill to center field, hit well, but Span is going to come in now to make the play. 1 out.
It's always interesting to see how big, strong, physical pitchers go up against Miguel. And the first pitch is a fastball up in the zone, and he follows that up with a real good changeup. And then he goes hard away, and then he gives him another fastball that's up in the zone that Miguel flies out to center field on.
Fielder takes a breaking ball strike.
97 miles an hour, the top fastball so far this evening out of the hand of Strasburg. 75 with that curveball. We thank you, Xfinity, for those radar readings.
There's a base hit to left field. Prince goes the other way.
Stop it, Prince.
Got base for the 3rd time in this game.
Got himself a little breaking ball up at the top of the zone. Didn't try to do a whole lot with it. Fought it off to left field. Great concentration.
Fourth hit of the game for the Tigers. 1 on, 1 out. Now Victor Martinez. We figured coming into this game there wouldn't be too many hits. 9 total between the two teams. 5 for Washington. And Victor looks at a breaking ball. 1-0.
And Strasburg this season has uncorked 3 wild pitches. And because he has a real good curveball. Prince needs to be aware of that. If he does see one of those balls bouncing, very difficult for Ramos to catch or to pick it and throw him out. You have to anticipate, though.
Pulled fair down the first base line. Prince on his way around second. He's coming at third. And Fielder will be held there. Martinez has a double. He scorched one down the first base line.
And Victor got himself a 1-0 fastball, and LaRoche came off that bag ever so slightly, and before he could dive back to his left, that ball was by him. Worth in right field did a nice job of getting over there to prevent Prince Fielder from coming all the way around from first to score.
24th double of the year for Victor Martinez. Here's Johnny Peralta. And Strasburg starts him off with a heater, mid-90s, in tight, 1-0.
And Davey Johnson has his infield playing halfway depth right now. They want the Tigers to make a decision on whether they're going to come on anything hit on the ground, which I don't think Prince will do.
Sales outside, 2-0. Next pitch will be the 70th for Strasburg, who's had a couple of really quick innings, a 7-pitch inning and a 5-pitch inning tonight. The 2-0. 3-0 the count on Peralta.
This might not be a bad situation to green light Johnny Peralta. especially if he gets that one fastball right down the middle.
Another big crowd trying to get in this one here tonight. Help out Peralta. Strasburg pitching from the windup with runners at second and third. We'll see if Johnny takes a rip. He does not, and he looks at a strike. 3-1. Single back in the fourth inning for Johnny. He's 1 for 2. And the Tigers would gladly take a base hit here. Down the right field line, back out of play. Fill the count now, 3-2 on Johnny Peralta. Tigers a run on 5 hits. Nationals a run on 5 hits. Double by Martinez has given the Tigers a chance now to take the lead. Here's the 3-2. And that is a line drive foul that went slicing by Prince Fielder.
And Johnny hit that right off the end of the bat. And because of that, he snapped it. He'll have to get another one. Johnny's been pretty good in these situations this year. 13 of 19, getting that runner in from third. Less than 2 outs, 68%. The major league average is 50%.
Really good. He is facing a tough customer, though. Strasburg stepping off. Fielder at third. And Martinez at second. Infield in a couple of steps. And again the 3-2. He walked in. Ball 4. That will load the bases. Peralta would not chase the breaking ball there. They are loaded up. Third walk of the game for Strasburg. And here's the guy that got him last time. Dirks doubled down the left field line.
And Dirks was tardy on a 95-mile-per-hour fastball out of the hand of Strasburg, but he snuck it in between the third baseman Zimmerman and that third base bag for a ribby and a double.
It gets away from Ramos, but not far enough.
Almost that wild pitch we were talking about. Nice job by Ramos to get over there and get this ball. Didn't get away too far from him. Prince Fielder wisely stayed at third.
Here's the 1-0. And he had a healthy rip at a 96-mile-an-hour fastball, fouled it straight back.
And here's that double. And Dirks hit down the left field line earlier in the game.
That knocked home Prince. That tied the game. Now he can put them ahead. Way high. 2-1. Fielder, Martinez, Peralta. The trio on the bases. Fouled away one more time. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Andy this year has knocked in 25. Avila waiting in the on deck circle. He has flied out twice in this game. And the 2-2. Bouncing ball. That is a foul ball. He almost did it again down that third base line. That fastball at 96. Strasburg battling here in the 6th inning. He has not had to do that too often here tonight. Off the inside part of the plate. Now it's full at 3-2. And now it gets really interesting. 80 now for Strasburg. 21 of them in this 6th inning. Here comes the crowd. Here's the 3-2. Popped up foul, back out of play. This will be the 8th pitch coming up in this at bat. Again, here is the 3-2. Swing and a miss to strike him out. Pumped in a lot of heaters, but came back with something off speed there, and down goes Dirks.
You got to have supreme confidence in your curveball to throw it in this situation. Bases loaded, 3-2 count, which he did, and he threw a dandy of a curveball there to get the punch out.
So now it'll take a 2-out hit from Avila, who since the 1st of July has been hitting .500 with men in scoring position.
Avila needs to be ready to hit that first pitch fastball if Strasburg gives it to him. You know it's going to be about 95, 96.
He got it at 96 and fouled it into the glove. Bases still loaded, 2 outs. Avila fly balls to center field twice in this game. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. This rally started with an opposite field single by Fielder. Martinez doubled to right. Peralta walked. And now with 2 outs, Avila trying to break this 1-1 tie as we play here in the bottom of the 6th. 2-1. Swing and a drive deep into right field, way back, and Alex Avila has just hit a grand slam against Steven Strasburg. Oh, are you kidding me?
Back-to-back games the Tigers have connected for a grand salami.
Avila with a slam, and it's 5-1 Tigers. He crushed it. And you could tell immediately that ball was going to go. His first career grand slam.
He got himself a fastball that was down around the knees, and it was inside, and Avila just dropped the barrel on it ever so slightly. And with that classic uppercut swing, that is a beautiful thing.
Oh, my goodness. Take a bow, Alex Avila. What kind of feeling that must be. It has been a struggle of a 2013 for Alex, but that one was a biggie. And a bouncing ball back to the mound. Strasburg will handle Santiago to end the inning. But what an inning it was. Alex Avila with a grand slam, the first of his career. And the Tigers break a 1-1 tie on one mighty swing of the bat. summary in the very first inning in this one. Ryan Zimmerman hit a ball back up the middle to drive in a run. Bryce Harper scored in the fourth inning. The Tigers able to tie it up on a double by Andy Dirks. And then in the sixth, yes, that just happened. A grand slam home run. Our Comerica Bank game summary. And the Tigers all of a sudden in command in this one, now 5-1. Strasburg not sure what has happened. He was pitching a dandy up until that 2-out grand slam. So to the seventh inning we go. Anibal Sanchez now with 4 runs to work with. And he delivers outside to the leadoff man.
Impressive at bats by the Tigers in that half inning against Strasburg. The opposite field single by Prince Fielder. Then you had Martinez getting himself into a fastball friendly count. He doubled, and Avila also got himself a fastball that he drilled. So give the Tigers some credit. They made Strasburg work in that inning.
They did indeed. Strasburg in that frame. As Sanchez brings it home, and it's fouled back.
If you weren't with us earlier, we told you as good as Strasburg is, he has struggled on the road this year. A .466 earned run average, which is going to go up a tick. And he is 1-4 in 9 starts on the road.
Action in the Tigers bullpen. 29 pitches for Strasburg in that last half inning. Here's a pop-up, shallow right field, long run for Torrey, long run for Santiago. Ramon with a great play, and he holds on.
I see you, Santiago.
He may have snow-coned it, but it doesn't matter.
Tigers playing with a whole lot of energy right now after that grand slam off of the bat of Avila. Torrey had no chance of catching this ball. Santiago knew that when it went up, and he took a beeline for it, took a great route, left his feet, and snow-coned it.
What flavor?
Strawberry.
What a play by Santiago. 1 out here in the 7th. Here's Chad Tracy. Tracy, an infield single and a pop-up. Tigers 5 runs, 6 hits. Nationals a run on 5 hits. Sanchez now with the 0-1. Pulled to second base right at Santiago. 2 up, 2 down. We asked you that AT&T trivia question a little bit earlier. Here it is again. Besides Davey Johnson, who are the other 2 active managers to win a World Series as a player and a manager?
Socia and Girardi.
Ah, good job. And Davey Johnson, of course, is the 3rd.
Davey Johnson had a good career as a player, too, man. He could hit.
A lot of years with the Orioles. Harper is 1 for 3 with a triple, and he drills this one to center. Jackson moving back. It was tricky, but he made the play.
That boy hits the ball hard.
1, 2, 3 for Sanchez. to you by the Smurfs 2 in theaters July 31st. Back here at the ballpark, the Tigers on top by a 5-1 score as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Alex Avila, grand slam home run off Steven Strasburg, breaking a 1-1 tie. Jackson leading things off. Skies wanted to foul ground and back into the seats.
We told you that Harper hits the ball awfully hard. He hit one right on the screws to Jackson that looked like it was knuckling on Austin Jackson, and he had a nice little exchange with Harper.
That was a pretty good play there by AJ. Here's the 0-1. That is in for a strike. 0-2 on Jackson. Tigers about hit the Nationals tonight 6-5. 0-3 for Austin. Here's the man of the hour so far, the grand slam by Avila. One ball, 2 strikes on Austin Jackson. Action in their bullpen. Fernando Abad warming up. Ball high, 2-2.
Avila's hit a couple of huge home runs this year for the team. Way back earlier this season when the team was in Houston, hit a home run real late in the game to put the Tigers ahead.
Yeah, it was a 9th inning home run against the newest Tiger, Jose Veras. Swing and a miss. And Jackson is up. One gone here in the 7th, and we remind you that Dancing with the All-Stars is coming to Joe Louis Arena Thursday, benefiting Jack's Place for Autism. For tickets, call 248-443-7427. Make your plans to be there and support a worthy cause. Jack's Place for Autism.
Santiago looks like he's got some real nice moves.
Shannon Hogan will be participating. She's polishing up her moves and getting her last lessons in. Here's Torrey Hunter. Torrey is 0-3, couple of strikeouts against Strasburg. That's right at the knees, a strike 1-1. Speaking of Mr. Jose Veras, he is warming up. Tigers had Rondon and Smiley warming up earlier. Torrey chased that time. 1-2. Swing and a miss, and Strasburg strikes him out for the 3rd time tonight. 2 gone. Here's the official move the Tigers made when they acquired Jose Veras from Houston. Luke Peconin was sent down to AAA. At times this year, Rod, Peconin pitched pretty well.
Peconin has pitched well enough to be on this team right now, to be honest with you, but can't keep everybody.
Cabrera shoots one into the glove by the 3rd baseman Zimmerman. A nice leaping play. Took a base hit, maybe a double away. And the Tigers go 1-2-3, 7 in the books here at the ballpark. 5-1 Detroit.
Good big league pitcher. He's been around. He's filled a lot of roles in his career. He's been in a position where he's closed games this year really for the first time. So he can do that. He can get left-hand hitters out. He can get right-hand hitters out. He's got a good off-speed pitch. He's got a slider, so he's got a variety of pitches. I don't think he'll be in a position where he'll at all bend under pressure.
That's Dave Dombrowski before the game today talking about his new acquisition, who is now in on a wall-side windows pitching change, Jose Veras.
Really closing for the very first time in his major league career with the Houston Astros. 19 of 22, sub-3 earned run average, 44 strikeouts and 14 walks. And that's one of the reasons why they really went out and acquired him, because this guy the last couple of years has had some command issues, but not so much this season.
Ramon Santiago moves to third base. Hernan Perez will take over at second. Miguel Cabrera is out of the game now. So Veras comes on to pitch the eighth. Tigers lead 5-1. Rendon leads it off and rolls one to short. Gobbled up there by Johnny. One pitch, one out.
Both of these clubs this evening have done a lot of swinging early in counts.
Here is Zimmerman.
Jose has a fastball that will get up to 94 miles an hour. Doesn't really pitch at 94, but he can touch it with his four-seam fastball. Also a really good curveball. Throws it at a couple different speeds, a couple different arm slots. He gets a lot of break on that pitch. Lots of swings and misses with that curveball.
Breaking ball outside. Tigers gave up Danry Vasquez, an outfielder. As you see, Rondon and Smiley still throwing. He was in A ball, and Vasquez, by all accounts, is a good prospect. Still somewhat raw, but he will go over now to the Astros and join their system. There's a strike called. 1-1 on Zimmerman.
A lot of times that player to be named later. They exchange about 3 or 4 names, and then depending on how well Jose Veras pitches for the Tigers will depend on the kind of prospect that they will settle on.
Here's the 1-1. Here's the bender, and it's in for a strike.
I talked to 3 people about him today. I even talked to my good buddy Dave Clark in Houston, who was a coach for the Astros, and to a man, all 3 of the people that I talked to, the first thing out of their mouth regarding him was how great a guy he was.
Well, he is seemingly fit in very well in his first day, bouncing around the clubhouse. Here's the 1-2. It'll bounce in. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
But you know what the skipper says about that?
He doesn't care.
Well, skipper says, I'll take the nice guys, but I also want that guy that's going to give me some swings and misses and some outs late in the game.
Regardless of his personality.
Exactly.
Check that out. Pretty good hand-eye right there from Zimmerman. Now Veras ready with a 2-2. Back out of play.
In reality, couldn't have been a more perfect situation for Jim to introduce Jose Veras to the Comerica Park crowd.
Dave Dombrowski, who watching his new acquisition on the field. Yeah, 4-run lead here in the 8th inning is certainly a little bit more comfortable than maybe coming in a 1 or 2-run game. And we'll get back out of play.
They expect to use him in the 7th. They can use him in the 8th. If Benoit closes a couple of games in a row, Jim doesn't like to use Joaquin on that 3rd day. That might be an opportunity for Veras to get a close.
Oh, good play. He seems stunned. Breaking ball hooked to third, and a one-hop play made by Santiago. 2 gone. By the way, Hockey Town, here's your chance to win a 2013-2014 Detroit Red Wings 10-game plan. Go to foxsportsdetroit.com. You'll get complete details to enter for a chance to win. 2 up, 2 down here in the 8th. Adam LaRoche doubled in his last at bat. He's 1 for 3. Ball 1. It was his last 19 appearances that really stood out for Veras. 2 earned runs in his last 20 innings of work for the Astros. There's a strike called. 1-1.
There was a lot of names that were being thrown around as possible trade partners for the Tigers. Papelbon's name was thrown around a lot with the Phillies. We saw him a couple days ago here, and he didn't look all that great to me.
Not to me either. I mean, he's throwing 90, 91, 92 tops. I think a lot of teams have cooled on Papelbon.
Yes, Jesse Crane was the guy that was out there, but he is still injured with the Chicago White Sox. And I think the emergence of the Tigers bullpen in the last couple of weeks have been walk closing, Smiley, Rondon in the 8th. They didn't have to go out and make a splash for a big name.
Good pitch. 2-2. And it really doesn't hurt to have as many arms at the back end of your bullpen that have experience closing games, which Veras obviously does.
I was just told Jesse Crane was traded to Tampa. Did you know that?
No. Did that just go over? Oh, wait, Crane, yeah, that happened.
So they traded for him while he was on the disabled list?
While he was on the DL, yeah, as a matter of fact. And they're going to wait for him to come off the DL to figure out who will go back the other way. But yes, Jesse Crane is going to the Rays.
It's a bold move. Apparently the medical records on Jesse Crane are good. You don't see often guys make deals for other players that are on the disabled list.
Three and 2. To center field. Straight at Jackson. Jose Veras, welcome to the Motor City. It's a 1-2-3-8. Nicely done. As your #1 mobile app for live baseball. It's available for iPhone, iPad, Android, and even BlackBerry 10. At Bat delivers Tigers baseball with live audio, pitch tracking, stats, highlights, and more. Text at BAT to 31826 or visit Tigers.com for more details. Here's our game summary tonight. Alex Avila's first career grand slam. Well, it came in handy tonight off Steven Strasburg. Broke a 1-1 tie. Tigers offense. All runs scored with 2 outs. They lead the major leagues in that category this year. Sanchez tonight, Rod, looked good.
Awfully good. He walked he walked a couple in the game. Gave up 1 earned run, 5 hits, and pitched 7 innings. And could have stayed out there a lot longer, but Jim has taken the luxury the last few times through the rotation is taking guys out and kind of watching guys the remainder of the way.
Wall side windows pitching change. Fernando Abad is on now.
Abad's got a nice arm. He's got a fastball that has some late sink to it that will get to 94 miles an hour. He's got a real big breaking ball, big looping curveball that he throws, and he has a fading changeup that fades down and away from the right-handed batters.
Fielder will be the first man he faces, Fernando Abad. And his first pitch is outside in 94. Abad joined the Nationals from their AAA team on May 27th. 2-0 the count. 22 strikeouts in 22 innings, 4 walks. And his 2-0 pitch. Bouncing ball foul, first base side. 2-1 now on Fielder. Martinez, Peralta to follow. Tigers 5 runs, 6 hits. Nationals a run on 5 hits. And here's some of the numbers in the Tiger box score. Swing and a miss. 2-2.
It's not often that your top 2 hitters go 0 for 8 with 5 strikeouts, but yet your squad be in a really good position to win the game.
They had one big inning. That was the grand slam inning. Tap to first base. LaRoche shoveling. Abad covers. 1 gone here in the 8th. Here's Victor Martinez. Well, Victor was a big part of that 4-run 6th inning. Had a double that set up the grand slam by Avila. Let's turn around now, bat right-handed against the lefty. Victor had a 14-game hitting streak in the month of July. Started toward the end of June and then spilled into July. 0-1. Same 2 teams tomorrow. Gio Gonzalez, Justin Verlander, another really good pitching matchup. Oh, 0-2. Abad has had big league time with Houston, 2010, 11, and 12. Out of La Romana in the Dominican Republic. Here's the 1-2. Broken bat to the second baseman, to the grass. Goes Rendon to make the play. Hey, as soon as this game ends, our coverage continues with Tigers Live. Here from manager Jim Leyland. All the players. We'll have all the highlights as usual. Break it down for you. Tigers Live immediately after the game right here on Fox Sports Detroit. Joaquin Benoit warming up. Here's Johnny Peralta. Strike 1. That's fouled straight back. 0-2 the count. You think the arrival of Veras will give Jim Leyland maybe a little bit more confidence in using Benoit in non-save situations like 4-run games, knowing that he's got a guy that if it gets to that 3rd day of back-to-back-to-back, he can go to Veras?
Oh, no question about that. Veras provides just a depth in every area. It just kind of depends on how Rondon pitches later on. You can get him to pitch the 8th if Rondon starts to struggle. Doesn't look like Smiley's going to struggle at all. But Benoit has been used by Jim in situations like he's going to use him tonight. Not a save situation.
Yeah, right now a 4-run spread. It looks like Joaquin will come on to the 9th inning. 0-2 on Peralta. I've always felt you can never have a lot of, or enough depth, and certainly once the playoffs roll around, that becomes true. There's a little flare. That's a fair ball down the right field line.
He is going so good right now.
2-out single for Johnny. He's on base for the 3rd time in this game.
Looked like a little excuse me swing by Johnny. That ball was off the plate outside. He just stuck his bat out there.
Here's Andy Dirks. Delivered a key RBI double in the 4th. Abad missing with a mid-90s fastball. 1-0. Dirks now 25 driven in this year. Slices one toward left center. It'll drop. Base hit. Peralta is on his way to 3rd. Here comes the throw. It's going to be late. 2nd hit of the night for Andy Dirks. 1st and 3rd, 2 outs.
Andy Dirks, one of those guys that does not try to overpower the fastball. He simply tries to put it in play. And Johnny Peralta running right in the face of the very talented Bryce Harper, their left fielder.
Here is Avila. Not only did he break the 1-1 tie in the 6th, he now has a chance to pad the Tigers' lead. Grand slam home run off Strasburg in the 6th inning. Tried to check it, couldn't do it. Strike 1. Tigers have hit 5 of them this year. Dirks hit one, Peralta, Cabrera, and Martinez. Bruce Rondon has joined Joaquin Benoit. Fouled off. 0-2.
We talked about the other real big home run that Avila hit this year. It was late in the game. It was against his teammate now, and that's Jose Veras in Houston. And he was smiling and cheesing from ear to ear all the way around the bases.
It gave the Tigers a 4-3 lead. They would go on to win that game. And that 9th inning homer. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Avila. Alex now has hit safely in 5 straight. Ryan Matthews warming up for Washington. Outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Should Avila reach, Santiago lurking on deck. 8 Tigers hits in this game, 5 for Washington. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Avila goes down to end the inning. However, the Tigers will bring this one to the 9th inning, and they will do so with a 5-1 lead. morning. Tigers in the lead. It's been a fun night as we listen to some of the sounds and take a look at some of the sights and some of the fun here tonight at Comerica. Biggest hit of the night, the grand slam by Alex Avila. Now Joaquin Benoit comes on here in the ninth.
And Joaquin pitching in his 43rd game this evening. The earned run average is outstanding. It is under 2. 52 strikeouts, and he's only walked 12 batters this year.
And Benoit will face Jason Worth to start things off. 5 runs, 8 hits Detroit. 1 run, 5 hits for the Nationals. It'll be Worth, Desmond, and Span.
And before this year, Joaquin really hadn't had a whole lot of success as a closer. Lots of success as a setup man, but not so much as a closer. But this year, he has done very well in this role.
Looks like he started to embrace the role and has really excelled in that role.
Joaquin said he had to change a couple of things about what he does in the bullpen prior to coming into games. You used to see Joaquin get up every 6th inning and start to toss down in the bullpen ever so slightly just to get loose. He doesn't do that anymore.
2-1 on Worth.
And he says it also is some type of an adjustment because he says you really don't know when you're going to get the ball. I mean, it's easy when you're at home and it's a closing situation, but it's a little bit more difficult when you're not at home, he said.
There's the 2-1 pitch. High fly ball, center field. Jackson waiting. 1 out. Veras came on for a 1-2-3-8, and now Benoit has gotten the first man here in the ninth. It's 8 straight retired by Tigers pitching. Ian Desmond stands in. Desmond is hitless tonight. He's got 16 homers this year. Strike 1. Desmond, as a matter of fact, has hit 41 home runs combined the last 2 seasons, more than any other shortstop in that span in the American League. Actually, the major leagues. Here's the 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike on Ian Desmond.
Desmond is a guy that routinely got compared to Derek Jeter when he was coming up through the minor leagues. Very athletic player, made a lot of errors at that shortstop position, and he's gotten better in the big leagues. Still not where they want him to be as far as the efficiency is concerned, but he's got a ways to go.
Now he handles that one and throws him out.
Because that guy right there, number 27, he is about as efficient as they get at that position.
2 up, 2 down. 1 more out to get. Denard Span stands in. He's 0 for 3 tonight. He is the last chance for the Nationals. Ball 1. Span fly ball, pop up, ground out. 2 gone, 9th inning. Tigers lead 5-1. They broke a 1-1 tie and a grand slam by Avila in the 6th inning. Pull to right field, sinking, and Torrey will play it on 1 hop. Span keeps it going with a 2-out single. It's going to bring up Wilson Ramos.
And we told you that Span hit a couple of home runs over the weekend. His first 2 home runs in his new uniform for the Nationals, and he had gone 421 plate appearances in between those 2 home runs and his last home run.
His single here has kept it going for the Nationals as Ramos stands in, and Span will take second without a throw. One ball, no strikes on Ramos. 0 for 3 for Wilson Ramos. Here's the 1-0. Fly ball, center field. Jackson going back, still going back. He's in front of the warning track, makes the catch, and the ball game is over.
Tigers beat a real good pitcher here tonight in Steven Strasburg.
And in doing so, the Tigers have now won their 4th consecutive game. Avila's grand slam the difference. And they pitched extremely well again here tonight. There's your final. We'll be back to Comerica Park.